A large portion of the Jewish nation has returned to its homeland, but the heart, soul, and mind of much of the Jewish nation are still in exile mode. This state of affairs must and will inevitably change. This is Torah Nation TV from Jerusalem, and we are speaking with the head of Machon Shilo, Rabbi David Bar-Hayim. Shalom, Rabbi Bar-Hayim.
Shalom.
Is it true that Rabbi Yosef Karo, the author of the Beit Yosef and the Shulchan Aruch, claimed that henceforth everyone must accept his decisions?
I can well understand why some people would ask this question, because it is often said that by many people nowadays that this is the case. In other words, that the Shulchan Aruch is binding on all Jews, and essentially all halachic debate came to an end with the publication of the Shulchan Aruch 500 odd years ago. The fact of the matter is that this claim is without basis in historical fact, and in reality it is not true that the Beit Yosef ever made such a claim. Rabbi Yosef Karo never demanded for himself that which no other Chacham before or after him demanded for himself, that is to say that everyone must accept his view. No one ever made such a claim, and he also did not make such a claim. Furthermore, it is quite ludicrous to suggest that Rabbi Yosef Karo or any other Chacham before or after his time would have thought for one moment that halachic debate could end with the publication of this or that book. That has never been the reality on the ground in the Torah world, in the Jewish world, and there's no reason that it should have been so with regards to the Shulchan Aruch. The only way to know for certain what Rabbi Yosef Karo had in mind is to read his own Hakdama, his own introduction to his central work, that is to say the Beit Yosef, an encyclopedic commentary on the Tur, written by Rabbi Yaakov ben Harosh, which was a standard halachic work in most of the Jewish world by the time the Beit Yosef came around. And his work, the Beit Yosef, was published and was a great hit, so to speak. It was accepted by all as a very useful book of references and discussions for halachic purposes. But whether it should be accepted as the last word is a different question altogether. And the Beit Yosef himself did not write that it should be so. In fact, he writes the opposite, and I will quote to you his own words. Initially, in his introduction, Rabbi Yosef Karo explains the great difficulty and the tremendous amount of time, effort, research, study, etc. that is required to get to the bottom of all the halachot that are before us, that exist in our texts, in our books, and even to clarify properly one halacha can be a very, very tedious and very difficult and strenuous exercise. And therefore he says, I have chosen to go according to the view of the majority of three particular poskim that I have chosen, namely the Rif, Rambam, and the Rosh, for reasons that he explains and that we can explain on another occasion. But for now, suffice it to say that he chose these three Rishonim, and he says, on this basis, generally speaking, I will be posek the halacha, I will decide the matter. And he goes on to say that he saw many other books, many other sifrei posekim, many other halachic decisors and their commentaries, and he says, he writes in his own words, وَإِخْتَوْ دَعَثِي, I will write in my work, the Beit Yosef, I will indicate my view, my opinion, after having brought all the views that were recorded, that came down to my generation, to my own time, he says, وَهَمَّعَيِّن يُحَرْ هَتَوْ بِعِنَوْ, and he who is studying and delving into this matter, or any particular matter, will be able to decide whether my view is the correct view as I presented, or perhaps one of the other views. In other words, in his own words, the Beit Yosef says that he does not expect anyone to accept what he is saying without question, and that his aim was to gather all the material and to indicate his own view, which is something that all Chachamim have always done, just as the Rosh wrote his halachic works with the aim of explaining his position after having discussed a number of halachic positions on any given subject. And just as the Rif does the same, and just as the Rashba does the same, in the same way the Beit Yosef quotes many opinions, explains why he thinks this opinion is correct, and tells you what he believes and thinks the halakha should be. But he never suggested for one moment, and it would have been most unusual and in fact improper for him or for anyone to suggest such a thing, that what I am writing is now, as it were, Torah min hashamayim, as it were, Torah that has come down from heaven, and everyone must accept what I have written. This was never the case, and the Beit Yosef himself gives lie to this claim.
Thank you, Rabbi Bar-Hayim. We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. We would also like to suggest the following opportunity to our viewers. If you identify with Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to sponsor or dedicate a video interview with the rabbi in honor or memory of a loved one, if you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.